Hey everybody, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich with a quick severe weather update before I head into work. I thought I wouldn't do a live one. I do a recorded one so everybody gets a view of this. I'm going to upload it to YouTube as well. Let's get right to the hot mess we've got going on. You could see we've got a lot of different frontal boundaries and a lot going on. The thing is, we've got this massive area of low pressure you could see developing right here and pushing to the east, and just an amazing amount of wind energy coming in. Very, very dynamic system. What I mean by dynamic is there's a lot of wind energy and temperature difference from the ground to aloft. I mean, in the wintertime, you can get these very dynamic systems, but you often don't have the warmth and moisture. Well, in this setup, we've got probably the worst case scenario for severe weather because we've got the wintertime dynamics and wind energy associated with some spring-like temperatures and dew points at the surface. You throw those all together and you just get a mess. You could see the particularly dangerous situation tornado watch, which is in effect till 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time for most of Georgia, northern Florida, and southeastern Alabama. Now for the Carolinas, the thing I'm watching for is how far northwest we're going to see this extension of severe weather. I really think if you draw a line from Raleigh to Charlotte down to Anderson and then southeast, this is the area we have to watch for later this evening. Less of a threat in the mountains, but not a zero threat. And let me emphasize that enough. Even though the threat has decreased for a lot of us, it doesn't mean the threat is zero. And just to give you an indication, there are strong winds on the backside. We've seen damaging wind gusts in the clear on the backside of this low. So there's really strong wind. So just take the thunderstorm threat out of the situation and you've got damaging straight line winds associated with this low. This low is kind of like a tropical system in a way that it has very strong winds just associated with the low pressure system. And then on the east and northeast side of the track, you've got the tornado and severe weather threat. You see the tornado warnings which are lining up, and really this is the main line that we're worried about right in here pushing northeast. But we've got to keep an eye on this area up here in South Carolina because this is approaching Columbia now, and the sun's been out for a while in areas around Charlotte to Columbia. So the air is unstable here. So these storms we'll have to be very, very careful with that they don't spin up a tornado. So here's a look at the temperatures. We're in the low to mid 60s, almost 70 in Columbia. Let me turn the temperatures off. And one of the parameters I have turned on here is something we call the significant tornado parameter. And it's off the charts in the panhandle of Florida up into southern Georgia. And what I've been watching today is the leading edge of the significant tornado parameter has been slowly shifting northeast. Look at the sun breaking through the clouds right here. So if we continue to see that trend by tonight, now again, the timing is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And again, there could be several waves because as you look at the radar here, one wave of storms here, possibly one here, maybe another one back here. These are all rotating around the main low, which is back to the northwest. So let's look at the radar into the future, just to give you an indication. I'll turn all this stuff off, and we're going to look at the strong winds. There's the strong winds associated with this system, and these are around 3,000 to 5,000 feet, but this system is mixing those down to the surface. You see the strong winds back in Texas, Oklahoma, and look at them coming up through Georgia and parts of Florida. So let's look at our future cast, and we'll see how much this progresses towards us. Let me go in closer. Sorry, I didn't mean to move so quickly. We'll go into the afternoon hours, and we'll head towards 6 p.m., and you can see the leading edge of the rain. Now, likely, this is not going to be severe, though I would keep an eye on it. This stuff down here is the stuff we watch, and even back in here, Atlanta, I mean, you're under a tornado watch, and we've got an NFC championship game going on down there with a high risk of tornadoes. I mean, it's just going to be amazing. Here we go. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So you look at that 8, 9 o'clock hour, boy, any one of these, they don't look like much here, but boy, I would not be shocked. Whoops, let me grab this real quick. Whoa. If we've got tornadic activity in some of these cells, especially in here. And just to kind of show you what that could look like, let me show you the storm relative helicity, which is a sign of rotation or wind shear, if you will. You could see how high it is in these locations, and this is the updraft helicity. In this one in particular, this cell's a rotating storm, and a couple down here. So where does this go? Does this go up into Cleveland County? Does one go off this way? This is why it's still so close to call for severe weather potential. You see them weaken as they try to push northeast, but notice still some developing. So we can't let our guard down yet. And even after the severe weather threat moves, look at the low coming in. This is the main area of low pressure back here. If I can get my computer to cooperate. There's the area of low pressure, and this rotates through. And remember, strong winds come barreling in. Think of this as like a tropical system, just to show you the winds at around 3,000 to 5,000 feet. You see them interacting with the mountains. So really bad setup for damaging winds with the saturated ground recently. Certainly can't rule out the chance that we could see some downed trees just from the straight line winds of 40 to 60 miles an hour. So I'm heading into work right now. Look at that thing. I mean, that is just, it's unreal to see that setup. So while the tornado threat might not be as high for us, we still have the threat for damaging winds and an isolated tornado. And because of the timing at night, Sunday night, people watching football after dark, all those things, it just takes one tornado in the wrong spot to be a problem. So keep your guard up. Don't be scared. A lot of folks I know are scared. Being scared does absolutely nothing for you. Be prepared. Empower yourself. Take control of the situation. Be in the know. Get in control. If you do that, you'd have nothing to fear. Everything's going to be just fine. I'll be on TV starting at 4, 5, and 6. If we need to cut in, we'll be there through the evening and probably well into the wee hours of the morning.